Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. So we will continue our process costing with the tutorial 2. Now we want to compute the finished goods valuation using a second method, which is the weighted average cost method. So we are using these questions, tutorial 2, Merak Sdn Bhd. Okay, so Merak Sdn Bhd produces a product that passes through two departments, mixing and cooking. Both departments using the weighted average method to account for its opening work in progress. So the following information relates to the cooking department for the months of May 2022 are as follows. So there's an opening work in progress, 100,000 kilograms, and fully completed means 100%, the degree of completion in respect to direct materials. 40% complete with the direct labor and overhead. So this considered as a conversion cost. Okay, so this considered as the conversion cost, the direct labor and the overhead. Okay, then the cost assigned as follows. Okay, now I have prepared all the necessary accounts as well as the statements required to complete the cooking department process account, as well as for part B, the requirement is to prepare the statement of equivalent units, statement of cost, and statement of evaluation. Okay, the joint cost, product and byproduct, we will continue later in another video. So today I just prepare the videos for the process account and the relevant statements. Okay, for that purpose, I have already prepared the cooking department process account. So it just includes all the information relates to the cooking department. All right, so this cost assigned for the work in progress, so this value 138,500. So we just put in the cooking department account. All right, so on the debit side, so opening work in progress is 100,000. Okay, 100,000 for 138,500. Okay, then there is additional input. Okay, so the second input is on the closing work in progress, 25,000 kilogram. Normal loss, 10% scrap. So this is the normal loss scrap. Okay, which is scrap units during process amounted to 15,000. So we need to identify the normal loss, how much out of it, out of this 15,000. Because the normal loss is computed based on the 10% of the total input. So here 10%, the normal loss. Okay, now we include or record the cost for the current period. Cost for the current period, which is cost for the cooking department, which is input from the mixing, 6,000 kgs, equivalent to the 200,000. Okay, and then the direct materials added, additional materials, 40,000, equivalent to cost 180,000. And the conversion cost, which is the 320,000. Okay, and then now we compare on the credit side. So we have the closing work in progress. So it's given in the questions here, 25,000. Okay, 25,000. Okay, so the value for the normal loss, for the closing work in progress, we will wait until we prepare the statement of equivalent units and the statement of evaluation. Okay, for the units, of the finished goods, so the next point mentioned here, at the end of the process, two joint products, MC10 and MC20 are produced. So this considered as the finished goods. Okay, since we are not doing joint and byproduct, so I'm treated this MC10 and MC20 as a total of the finished goods produced, which is 160,000. So later when we are doing the joint and byproduct, then I will separate it. So here is considered as 160,000. Okay, and then for the normal loss or abnormal gain, we need to calculate using the information given here, which is Normal loss 10% of total input and can be sold for a scrap of 1 ringgit. So total input means the opening work in progress plus the input for the additional material and input from the previous process account, which is opening 100,000 plus the input from mixing 60,000 plus the additional material 40,000. So altogether it is 200,000. So multiplied by the 10%, so it is 20,000. The normal loss unit. So this 20,000 we multiply by the scrap value per unit. Okay, so the scrap value per unit is RM1. So that means the value is 20,000 ringgit. Okay, put it here as 20,000 ringgit. All right, the rest of the information we need to prepare the statements to get the information. Okay, for the so you can see that here balance of units between the debit and credit side. So here is 100,000 opening plus the input from mixing 60 and additional material 40, so altogether is 200,000. But here on the credit side, it is 180 plus with the 25,000 CWIP closing in progress, it is 205. So it seems that the credit side is more than the debit side and it is not balanced. So we need to decide whether the firm is it incur the abnormal loss or have the abnormal gain. So abnormal loss is where the normal loss less than the actual loss. Actual loss is higher, and if the actual loss is lower than normal loss, that will give a abnormal gain. So to determine the actual loss, we need to compare the input and the output. So the normal loss we have computed, which is 20,000. So here it is 20,000. Normal loss is 20,000. Okay, now we need to determine the actual loss. So the input for the input here we can have from our process account. So we have OWP, input from mixing, additional material. So we have here input OWIP 100,000, and then we have the input from mixing department 60,000, and we have the direct material additional material 40,000. So altogether here is 200,000, and the output is only 160,000. Okay, CWP closing work in progress is 25,000 plus with the finished good, which is 160,000. And so it is 185,000. So you can see that so the input is more than the output. Input is more than the output, so there is actual loss of 15,000. Actual loss here is a 15,000 units. So the 15,000 units, then we compare to the normal loss. So we can see that the actual loss is lesser. Actual loss is lesser than normal loss, or vice versa, the normal loss is higher than actual loss. So that is giving the abnormal gain, giving the abnormal gain of 5,000. Abnormal gain of 5,000. So this abnormal gain of 5,000 will be on the credit side in the abnormal gain account, and it is debit side of the process account. So later, when we do more questions, we will prepare the abnormal gain, normal loss, as well as the abnormal loss account. Okay, so here we record the 5,000. Then we can have a balance between the debit side and credit side, which is 205 on the debit side, and here also 185 plus 20, it is 205. Okay. Okay, so now we need to determine what is the value. So the value to be determined from the statements 205. Okay, so next, the crucial point here is to prepare all the statements. Right, so now the input comes from the finished good, closing, work in progress, which is considered as the okay, if you follow the previous one, okay, the input, so this is the units that we are having in the process for the input. The input is the unit that we're having from the process, which is 100,000. But here is quite different. Preparation of the statement of equivalent units. Okay, so we will take the OWIP, opening work in progress, and input from mixing as the finished goods. All right, then we have the closing work in progress. Okay, so this will be 160,000. So this consider as the 100% output, 100%. Okay, for the finished good, for the normal loss, and for the abnormal gain, usually is regarded or treated as the 100% completion. Only for the closing work in progress or opening work in progress, if any, that will depends on the degree of completion. Okay, so 25,000 here. Normal loss is 20,000. And abnormal gain, so since it's a gain, is in bracket, so 5,000. Okay, the closing work in progress, that is from the credit side of the process account, and the normal loss is 20. So altogether is 205 here, but we have the abnormal gain, so that makes the total is 200,000. Equivalent unit to the output is 200,000. Okay, from mixing, consider as 100%. So 160,000 completion. Direct material also is 160,000 completion. And the conversion cost is also 160,000 completion. Okay, for the normal loss, also consider as 100% completion, 20,000. So here 20,000. And conversion cost also is 20,000. For the abnormal gain also is 100% completion. Okay, from mixing process, previous process, direct material, as well as the conversion. Only for the closing work in progress, where here it is mentioned that there is a degree of completion here. For the closing work in progress, the units are fully complete with the direct material, but 60% complete for the 60% complete for the direct labor and overhead. That means this for the conversion costs. So for the material and mixing, consider as 100% complete. So here consider 100% complete. Okay, so that means it's 25,000. Direct material also 100% complete. Okay, 25,000. And for the conversion cost here 60% complete. So 60% complete. So 60% out of 25,000 is 15,000. Okay. Okay, yes, that's correct. It is 15,000. Then we can add up to the total. So from mixing, it is 200,000 because 100% completed. For direct material, it is 200,000. Only for the conversion cost, since degree of completion for the closing in progress is only 60%, so that makes less of 10,000, which is 190,000. Okay, that finish on statement of equivalent units. Then we move to the statement of costs. So opening work in progress, the value or the cost for the opening work in progress, we can have from the questions. She's here. Previous cost 30,000, 20,000, and 88,500 for the conversion cost. So we put in the box here the respective box. So 30,000, 20,000, and 88,500. Okay, since a weighted average method, this opening work in progress is quite different from the first in, first out. The statement of cost, first in, first out. Since we regard that the opening work in progress will be completed fully, so all the costs will be included in the current cost. So for the weighted average, since we don't identify which units of input to complete first, so we need to differentiate, or we need to separate the opening work in progress from the current cost. Okay, we need to calculate or identify what is the cost for the opening work in progress and what is the cost for the current cost for the completed production for the current period, CPDP. So that's why we differentiate the cost of OWIP, opening work in progress, from the current cost, which is the current cost we may extract from the process account. So the process account, which is here, 200,000, 180,000 for additional material, and 380,000. So we put everything here. So 200,000 for the current cost, then 180,000, and here 320,000. Okay, that is comes this one, 200, 180, and 320,000. So we total up. So we got here 230,000. Here is 200,000, and here is 408,500. Okay, then we divide that with our units in the that we derive from the statement of equivalent units. From mixings, 200. Okay, so this one for this one, this one for this one, and this one for this one. So 200,000. So 230 divided by 200,000. So here 200,000 divided by 200,000. So here we got RM1. Okay, here is RM115. And here 408,500 divided by 190. So it is RM 2 ringgit 15 cents. Then we can put in the statement of equivalent units, where the value for the closing work in progress, you need to segregate or differentiate the value or separate according to the process, according to the cost. From mixing, just now we have 1.1 RM 1.15. So multiply by the units. Okay, so the units from the mixing, it is for the closing work in progress, it is 25,000. So this one, 25,000. Mixing 25, 25, and conversion cost is 15. So 25,000. So this one from 25,000. And conversion cost RM 215 from multiplied by 15,000. So this one is 32,250. This one is 25,000. This one is 28,750. So then you total up. Okay, 28,750 plus 25,000 plus the 32,250. So that will give you the value of closing work in progress is 86,000. 86,000. So then you can put it here in the process account just now. So process account. So closing work in progress. So it is 86,000. Okay, then the value for the finished good and abnormal gain. Value for the finished good and abnormal gain. Okay, finished goods, it is 160,000 units multiplied by the total. Okay, so this one total CPU cost per unit is 1.15 plus RM 4 ringgit 30 cents. Okay, 1.15 plus 1 ringgit is 2.15 plus 2.15, so it's 4 ringgit 30 cents. So multiply by 4 ringgit and 30 cents, that will give 688,000. For the normal loss, just now is 20,000. Okay, multiply by RM 4.3. Okay, so it is so coincident, it is similar with the value of closing work in progress. And for the abnormal gain is 5,000 multiplied by RM 4.3. So it is 21,500. Okay. So for the normal loss, don't forget that normal loss, it should be net normal loss. So we make corrections to this. 20,000 multiplied by RM 4.3, so it is 86,000. Then you need to minus with the scrap value. The scrap value in the process account, it is 20. So 20,000. It is 20,000. So you need to minus that 20,000. So that will give you 66,000 actually. Not the 86, but it is a 66,000. 66,000. Okay, so this 66,000 plus with the okay, normal gain value, this is the 21,500. Okay, 21,500. Then you can balancing the figure, balancing the account. Okay, 138,500. 138,500 plus 200,000 plus 180,000 plus 320,000 plus the 21,500. So that gives you 860,000. So 860,000. So this also should be balanced with the credit sides. 860,000. So this 860,000. Okay, so you minus back the normal loss and minus back the 86,000 closing work in progress. That will give you the value for the finished good. So this is if we find using the balancing figure, but this figure we can verify using our calculation here, the statement of cost, okay, which is the value of finished good, value of finished goods. So we can calculate using the 688,000, okay, plus with the value of the net normal loss, net normal loss, which is 66,000, plus with the net normal loss, okay, 66,000. So that will give us the value of finished good. Okay, so this is the final value of finished goods. Okay, 754,000. So that's complete our cooking department process account, as well as all the 3 statements. So we did questions A, process cooking department process account, as well as statement of equivalent units, statement of cost, and a statement of evaluations. Okay, we'll continue later for the part C to determine the joint cost and to calculate what is the net profit obtained by the joint product. Okay, with that, thank you very much for your attention. Okay, we'll meet again for the join and buy product. Thank you very much.